Welcome to Spirit School. I'm Danielle Sarank, a medium and spiritual mentor and storyteller with over a decade experience, here to guide you through the profound intersections of spirituality, healing, and self-discovery. Spirit School is more than a podcast. It's a sanctuary, a place where you can connect with the wisdom of the unseen world, explore the depths of your own soul, and uncover the boundless life force energy within. Whether you're stepping into your spiritual gifts, navigating a healing journey, or seeking tools for a life filled with intention and meaning, you belong here. In each episode is a beacon of light, blending heartfelt stories, practical teachings, and reflections from my own path. Together, we'll celebrate the magic in the mundane and discover the extraordinary in everyday moments. Through Spirit School, we co-create a world where hope thrives, inspiration uplifts, and the power of spirit is undeniable. Welcome to Spirit School. Let's continue this journey of light and transformation together. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Spirit School. It has been a few months if you are a current and active listener, so thank you so much for your patience with me as I adventured in life and took it all in and just took some time away to do something pretty cool. And I wanted to share a little bit about it. And I just wanted to share a couple things that surprised me when it came to sustainability for my energy and really healing my nervous system. I think we can tend to underestimate how much we tax our nervous systems when we are doing spirit work. Whether you're doing mediumship work, psychic work, spiritual work, we definitely can tax our nervous systems just by, living a career that has a certain amount of pressure to it. Right? We can tax our nervous systems getting overwhelmed before readings. I know that was a really big thing for me early on, was exhausting myself before I even got into the session. I exhausted me, and that could be really taxing. I also notice as a clairsentient medium that a lot of my mediumship actually channels through the nervous system, or maybe it doesn't channel through the nervous system as much as my nervous system is activated and impacted when I am channeling. And there's no way for me to separate it, even though they are using my energy body. My physical body still experiences it to some degree. As a clairsentient medium, I do feel when there was, a breast cancer or a heart attack. I can feel to some degree aneurysms because it kind of lights up on my body. One of the ways that spirit comes through me to bring through some sort of reconciliation. So there's a nervousness that overcomes me when a spirit comes by and maybe they have an apology for their loved one who's in front of me. I actually feel nervous. They impress upon me how they feel, and I feel it in my body. That is not the case for every single medium. I know there are mediums, I personally have known mediums who prefer not to work in their clairsentience because it can be a little bit more taxing. Because I was fighting a lot of disbelief that I could be a medium or channel early on, I needed something very physical from spirit to be able to believe in their presence or believe that they were in fact channeling through me. And maybe that's why I feel a little bit more. I also have a business that has grown quite a bit over the past few years, and that comes with its own certain expected amount of anxiety and pressure, even through the past couple of years, not being able to really take my foot off the gas. I did this summer, which I'll explain more very soon, but it definitely comes with its isolated issues, like maybe sensations and worries that not many can understand or resonate with. So not only do you have these pressures, but you're also kind of like living with them alone. There's not many people who can walk with you. There's little pockets of it. I've been very blessed in my journey to be able to meet quite a few people. The other thing that can really tax our nervous system is the space that we hold for other people. Every sitter is very different. Some sitters, there might be a little bit of triggers that come up in their session that require some extra space holding, or there's a certain amount of grief. And as an empath, as somebody who is empathetic in nature, because absolutely spirit works through our clair empathy, the nervous system definitely does get impacted when we are holding space in these highly charged environments. And we're holding space in multiple different ways. We're holding information from spirit, we're holding our own energy, being able to discern ours from spirit, and we're holding the emotions and the presence of our sitter. So we're doing a lot when we are in session, and we're doing a lot even when we are developing. So I would definitely say nervous system management has been at the forefront of my own personal health and wellness for many years. And as I've been getting more into breath work, which has been probably the most effective, healing my own CPTSD with my own therapy team, and learning how to recognize when, there's something unconscious coming forward versus subconscious, like right there in front of me. So, doing the deep work. And I feel like I've done a pretty good job. There's definitely some things I've had to let go of for the sake of capacity. Last year was really hard. The beginning of this year was really, really hard. And throughout it, I was very conscious about how I was using my energy and spending my energy. I had to be very picky and choosy about different projects and different things I had to let go. Had to slow down on the podcast, had to slow down on my programs, just had to slow down to be able to start that repair work. And it's really hard. Let's not get it crooked. It's really hard to do repair work while life does not slow down. Right? So we're trying to maintain and repair while we're on this treadmill of life that stops for no one. And let's face it, since the 2020s, I think it's fair to say that things have been quickening, and we're seeing things that are jarring our nervous system. We're seeing in a day what we typically would have seen in a month before. And this is daily. So we're definitely in a time where I like the perspective I heard somebody say, it's definitely mental health crisis time, but it's also spiritual revolution time. And I also felt like the craziness of these past couple years has pushed me further into self-care, further into wanting to learn more about managing my energy for the long term. Because you can just flip between burnout and extreme burnout constantly. And as the mom who has 2 kids in daycare and relies on daycare to be able to work, usually as a mom in a small town that I live in, you have to plan out summer in February. Well, I didn't find out what I was doing the first week of July until the last week of June. And that's how it has really been, finding out Monday where we're going kind of Wednesday. And it's actually worked out really well in my favor for the show, because sometimes I won't get an address till the morning of, and it keeps things incredibly honest, which has been really helpful for some of those more skeptical situations that come up. No, there's no way I could look you up. It's I didn't even know where I was going until 9 a.m. today, to be honest with you. And so releasing control of my day to day was the first thing I released control of. And it was the first thing I had to come into acceptance with. And once I did, I knew it freed up a lot of my capacity and a lot of my nervous system activation, because I can tend to get very hypervigilant and very controlling over schedules, because I have 2 young kids and a whole business, clients in all sorts of time zones. And right away, I let it go. And that was something that surprisingly really did help my nervous system. Just knowing and accepting that was really helpful. One of the other things, and this is probably the biggest thing I'm going to jump ahead to, and this feels quite personal, quite intimate, but I wanted to share it. It was the whole reason why I wanted to hit record here on this, because it's such a big realization for me. And I think that if you're a long time listener of the podcast, you'll probably just have a bit of an epiphany with me as well. But this summer, I have been surrounded by a crew of anywhere at any time. Today, we're a crew of 4. We're filming today. They're actually out doing some drone shots right now. So I decided to do my podcasting, because we're going to be filming all week. And I want to do something a little bit different next week. But all summer, I have been surrounded by anywhere from 4 to 10 incredible humans, all masters in their craft, whether they're sound or cinematography or directing or producing. It's like everyone has like their zone of genius, and everyone has taken the time, energy, and their own resources to become masters of their craft. So I feel incredibly nourished being surrounded by other artists and creatives who are passionate about what they do. You know, they're all entrepreneurs in their own right and taken the time to master the craft. It's been this reciprocal admiration, I would say, and what I do can be quite unique. So I've noticed that they're very interested in what I do. And from day one this summer, I have been surrounded by supportive people. And I mean, not just, yeah, you go girl. It's like, do you need anything? Or reflecting back to me, that must have been like really hard for you. How was that? Did you think that went well? What was your favorite part of that? What was the thing that like surprised you the most? Or how did that work? And I recognize this from last time. And it's like being surrounded by people who are genuinely interested in not only like what you do, but how you do. And yeah, it single-handedly has been like repairing my nervous system in phenomenal ways. And I don't know how I could replicate this ever, because it is probably like this once in a lifetime experience. I will say that, you know, I spent 12 years-ish working with different race cars and race car teams out of high school. My favorite sprint was a six-year job on Subaru Rally Team Canada. And we were all from other countries or other places coming together in this small mountain town with one goal: to win the championship every year, which we did. And it was incredible to be part of this cohort of people who had a very similar goal, passion for the same thing. There's no egos because we have one mission to achieve. And it was really hard leaving that job for First Nations healthcare. It was probably the most grief, other than Bender dying, was actually leaving that job and telling my boss at the time. But comparable to being on that race car team is very similar to being on like this film crew. And I told them this about halfway through, because there was something that happened on July 31st, 2025, which I'll never forget. And you'll have to wait until the show airs and I can talk about the things that come up on the shows. But there was an angel and I got strucketh. And all these epiphanies started happening when I got struck by this angel of like how loving people can be, how much love I have to give. And just kind of like this reciprocity. I don't know what it is. There was something that happened, and we'll have to talk about it next year when everything kind of comes to light. But it was a very before and after moment for me. And I had this realization about how happy I was, how healthy I was, how patient I was, how I stopped jumping at every single sound or having those moments like, did I forget that? Or am I supposed to be somewhere right now? And like, I'm not going to cry, but I realized about halfway through the filming that I was like, wow, this is actually really good for my nervous system. Like, I'm healing right now and I can feel it. And so I really took my time in August, because now it's September 1st that I'm recording this, but I really took my time in August to like slow down, to appreciate, to enjoy every single second of this time I have with these people, because we're on our last 4 days right now. And then I'll see them again in November for a couple of days, but that's pretty much it. We might not ever be together again in this way. So grateful. I couldn't believe that being surrounded, and of course my therapist is probably listening, just like nodding her head like, yes, this is what I've been telling you. Being in an emotionally safe environment, an expressive environment, can be very, very helpful for you. So yeah, it was very beautiful. It was my favorite part of the whole experience. Like, I should probably talk a little bit about the schedule as well, because it's hard to tell you about how present I could be unless you know what I had to let go of. Because like there's a lot kind of going on. And leading up to this opportunity, I found out I was going to get it in December. last year was really hard. I don't want to talk about it every single podcast, but I lost quite a few friends and my mother-in-law, and I was burnt out. And I couldn't do a whole lot. I couldn't even podcast a lot. I just had to do what I had to do and do it the best I could, which was the membership and the initiation and my retreats. And everything else I kind of had just had to surrender to other people to lead, or take the opportunity by the horns and even just let certain things go. And so it was actually this weekend in December, I won my First Nations award from the Chamber of Commerce here in Squamish. It was Indigenous Business of the Year. And the next day I found out I got the show. So I had 6 months to kind of self-sabotage or really take the opportunity by the horns. And I thought I was doing a lot better. And then I ended up in this audit. And everything's fine in the audit because I've treated my business as legit from day one. It was just a lot of labor and a lot of resources that I really didn't have. And, you know, it was getting so bad. My capacity was really, really low. But I got through it. And I had a surgery the day after my audit ended, which also is complicated. And that takes me up to filming literally the day after my infection ended. So it's like just not kind of catching a break. So I didn't have a lot of capacity going into filming, and I had to look at my life. I had to look at, what can I really truly hold space for this summer? What do I have to let go of? And what am I going to give it my all into? So I consciously decided a big risk to just run my membership. I actually had it written into my contract that I could talk to the membership about the filming. They're the only ones who know anything about it, and they don't know storylines, but they know the rest and the filming. And so I pushed the declaration to September, which is going to be running. My ethics program will be running this month. I paused my readings. I had to move one of my retreats because of capacity and a lot of different reasons that will come up on a different podcast episode in the future. And I really had to stop pushing forward. So I ended up scaling back this summer about 70% of my business and just keeping 30%. And I knew that it was a risk, but I knew that it was temporary. But I also knew that, actually I didn't know, let's start there. I didn't know what filming would take from me. I didn't know if it was going to be really hard. I didn't know if it was going to be easy. I didn't know if the days were going to be short or long, or what would be required of me. Like, you just really don't know. So a long time ago, because I kept fluctuating between burnout and extreme burnout, I learned not to make decisions on scheduling in the future based off my best self. The part of me that's got it all together, that's like got tons of energy, that's like living large. And I reckon that's advice for everyone out there. If you're somebody who's like, I book a year out, I don't know how you do it. I cannot live like that because I don't know how I'm going to feel in a year from now. I don't know what opportunities are going to come up. So I book like a month out and I just kind of keep a wait list going. So not knowing what was going to be coming up for the filming, I decided just to scale back to everything but the membership. And the membership was really great this summer. I did bi-weekly group readings for 2 hours. So I would channel probably anywhere from 10 to 20 readings. And some of them turned out to be super crazy accurate and really fun to see unfold over the summer. And then on the alternate weeks, I dropped a behind the scenes filming vlog that was about an hour in length with just different pictures and videos and stories and stuff like that of my adventures. So I really did kind of scale back all of this because I knew that my nervous system was completely taxed. Now I find myself 2 months into filming, exactly. Tomorrow's going to be 2 months straight, filming 4 days a week, traveling for many of those weeks. I think last week I slept for 7 hours because we were either on a boat, a car, a plane, a bus, or swampy lands for like hours a day. Like, honestly, like I think one night we only stopped at a hotel for like 3 hours. It was a crazy, crazy adventure of a summer. But I find myself here on September 1st. My nervous system feels at peace. My heart is so, so happy. I feel so fulfilled. I feel that, even my family that had to completely step up and take over the household feels good about maybe the relationships built over the summer, like with the kids and stuff like that. But I feel more rested and recouped at the end of this journey than at any point in like the past many, many, many years. And I don't know what that means because it has been busy. Like I brought up the hours from last week just to let you know, like the hours are crazier than when I'm working my job. And I can't quite tell at this point if it's people, IRL, is it being with a bunch of people? Is it being really emotionally supported, validated, and seen? Is it being in rooms with creatives that are just as passionate about me, about their crafts, and can have that selfless reciprocal admiration? Is it love? Did the angels make me fall in love? Because it kind of feels like that too. Like I'm just in love with life. I'm in love with absolutely everything. But I do know that I feel really good right now. Really, really, really good. And I do know that I don't know what's going to happen next. But I'm still unpacking it all. I'm still integrating. I wanted to talk about the nervous system. I wanted to talk about the things that were surprisingly nourishing for me. I'm really just going to upload this and just get it out. I'm not going to edit it. I hope that that's okay with you guys. There's a few things I'm looking forward to with the podcast. There's a few different things. There's potential for a new podcast that's coming up. There's potential to have a co-host that I think you would really enjoy our chemistry. I'm not sure what the commitments are, but I just want to say I thank you for being here with me for many years. Some of you have been with me in the podcast sphere for 8 years. I hope you can understand that it's been a little inconsistent these past couple years because of overwhelm and just being very protective of my output and really just focusing on the collective space and, the initiation, which I absolutely love, and the declaration coming up. I'm just being very picky and choosy about my output right now. So to talk about what's coming up, because I think a lot of people are interested in that, Asha Frost is coming to Spirit School in 17 days. We still have space for 11 more. Very intimate weekend workshop for the equinox here at Spirit School in Squamish. It's best if you're a little bit local, I think. I'm not sure what accommodations are like right now, but that's coming up. And me and Asha are very excited for that. I have the declaration coming up, which is my program on ethics and integrity in unregulated spaces. This is for anyone who holds space, who's interested in trauma awareness, understanding different really tricky scenarios that have come up in my career that we will workshop together. It has a private podcast with it, supervision, because it is a certification program for those that are interested in that. So there is capacity to ask me questions and have your own situations worked out. Also, the membership, we're working on seasons right now. So we're just wrapping up our summer season, which was all behind the scenes of me stepping into the light. My Leo season for sure, because it's going to be seen by tens of millions potentially. And then this coming season, because I am so obsessed with mediumship right now. Like all I've been doing all summer is serving spirit and just serving humanity through mediumship. I've learned so much. I've experienced so much. I really wanted to focus this fall in the membership on mediumship, and we'll be doing like animal communication. I'll be doing group practice circles. There's different topics that I have. I'll announce next week, but I have it all worked out. And it's going to be a lot of teaching based, a lot of opportunities to ask me questions. We gather in circle with me 3 times a month. And so that's always going to be my baby moving forward, will always be the collective. Best place to get to know me in person. I really only have a group reading here on Halloween at Spirit School HQ. And then my retreat next year, the Sacred Spirit Retreat in June, which we have opened up registration spots for. I have a lot planned for the podcast coming up. There's so many things that I want to talk about. I am just in the process of integrating. I mean, I think I'll be integrating this past summer for like literally the next 5 years. I find myself sometimes just sitting on the couch thinking about something we did last week and just bursting into tears. So it's been a lot and it's been beautiful. And I think that we're going to have a lot to discuss in the next couple of years as what we have been filming makes its way to the light. But for now, I hope that my experiences, my stories, and my retelling of them light something up for you, maybe gives you a bit of clarity on something, or is just merely entertaining. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you for joining me on Spirit School today, friends. I am so grateful for this time that we spent together exploring the power of spirit, the depths of healing, and the magic of self-discovery. My hope is that each episode leaves you feeling inspired, empowered, and connected to the boundless energy of your own soul. If you've enjoyed today's episode, I invite you to take the next step on your journey by joining me in the Spirit School community. Inside, you'll find a vibrant space filled with like-minded souls, access to exclusive teachings, live mentorship opportunities, and the support to deepen your trust in your spiritual gifts while embracing your humanity. Visit myspiritschool.com to learn more and become part of this growing family of seekers and light bringers. Let's continue to co-create a rich life with spirit, love, and purpose together. Until next time, keep shining your light and walking your soul's path. Take care, my friends, and be well.